What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we have a kind of sad topic. We are selling my 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is my 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia. This is an all-wheel drive model, and it's a base model, but it's got some upgrades and some aftermarket things that I've done to it. And I've owned this car for a pretty long time, just over 3 years now. And I've had plenty of videos with this car and great things to say about it, and I've owned it and lived with it and daily driven it up until its 36,000 mile point here. And I've loved every second of it. So for those of you who have been watching my channel and know all of this and know that I'm one of Alfa Romeo's biggest advocates, especially when it comes to this Giulia, you might be asking yourself, well, why is he selling this? And that's a good question. And in today's video, we're gonna go over exactly why I'm deciding to part ways with the Giulia. Now, if you've been watching the channel for some time, you'll know that I picked up this car in late 2020 to early 2021 for about $24,000. And when I bought the car, it only had about 17,000 miles on it. At the time, it was a great deal, and this was a kind of base car, but over the years, I've done some things to it and made it my own, and really enjoyed getting to live with this car and drive it and customize it all these years. So if you're saying, well, if you enjoyed the car so much, why exactly are you getting rid of it? Well, now in the year 2024, unfortunately, the only problem with these Alfa Romeos is the depreciation factor. This car really is only worth about half of what I originally paid for it, and that's only dropping as the miles increase. Now, I've only put about 19,000 miles on it in these past 3 years, as I really just don't drive too much. So that's pretty good, and I still have a pretty good value for this car. But that is going to change as I'm now moving on to the next stage in my life where I might be driving a little more or traveling longer distances, putting more miles on the car, etc., and just kind of wearing down this car a little more. So I think it was best that I decide to sell this car now while it still holds some value before anything drops any further. Now, a few other reasons why I'm selling this car is, well, it is a 2017 and it is coming up on 7 years old. Now, I know these cars are pretty bulletproof, and as long as you tune them up and take good care of them, they would run for a while. But just to be safe and, just to get something newer, as I won't be in a position financially to buy another vehicle unless I buy one right now, for the next 5 or so, 6 or so years, it's better that I get one now that I know for a fact is just going to be newer and, it's going to have some stuff done to it. It won't need brakes, tires, etc., and just have that kind of reliability factor already built in. Yes, this is a fantastic car, and I know it's going to go for a while. If you change the oil and you just keep up on standard maintenance, this car will go for as long as you need it. But unfortunately, that does cost money, and at some point, once this thing racks up the miles, it's just going to cost more than the car is really going to be worth. So it's more of a financially smart decision for me to just get rid of the car now, build some equity in this thing, and then put that towards a new car. So yeah, unfortunately, guys, we are deciding to get rid of this vehicle. I've loved it. It's kind of a bittersweet moment for me. I mean, this car I've really made into my own, and it's truly a vehicle that I cherish and I love. But not to worry, something else is going to be coming into the garage very soon. And this is going to be one of my last times spending with the Giulia, as later today we are going to drop it off at a dealership and get some value for this thing. Now, I didn't do like a trade-in value because I actually have already purchased another vehicle. The new car is coming from Arizona, so it's getting shipped all the way here sometime within the next week. And to avoid having to pay for outrageous shipping costs to bring this thing back to Arizona, I'm just selling it outright. So I'm going to sell the car today, and then in about a week I will have my new car. So yeah, so I'm selling it at a dealership. If you guys want me to go over all of the financial details, like what I'm paying on the new car, I will be revealing the new car in a later video when we take delivery of it. But if you want to know the details, like what I'm getting for this car, what they're paying for this car, or kind of what my payments and all that is going to be later on, I'd be happy to drop a video for you guys on that. But yeah, we're gonna be getting rid of the Giulia. it is very bittersweet for me because this is my car and I love it, and I've tried to sell it to some family and some friends, but unfortunately, it just didn't make sense for some of the people, so I have to part ways. It's ending up at a Honda dealership near me. I know it's kind of sacrilegious for an Alfa to be sitting at a Honda dealership, but they're giving me a pretty decent price. I'm pretty much getting my money back for this car after driving it for 3 or so years, so I am pretty happy with that. It's sad to see it go. The new car is going to be pretty cool, and I'm excited to share that and update you guys with that. But yeah, so it just makes sense for me to financially right now to get rid of this car while it still has some value, while I can still get some equity in it. And, because it is due for stuff like an oil change and tire rotation, and it is going to need new tires pretty soon. So, all of that was going to cost me a few grand anyways. So I figured I might as well take that few grand, put it towards something new, something I can make more content on the channel with for you guys, and, part ways with the old girl so somebody else can enjoy her as well. So, I would have offered it to you guys as well, but it just made more sense for me where I live to send it to a dealer and, just kind of hand things over clean, as I still had some remaining loan balance on this car. So didn't want to give it to anybody with, loans to pay off on top of trying to pay for the actual vehicle. So it just makes sense to get rid of this thing now, and the timing of everything just works out. So yeah, so the Giulia is officially going to be gone. Later today, we're going to be dropping it off, and we'll say our final goodbyes, and then that's going to be it, guys. For a week, we're going to be without a car, but I think you guys will enjoy what's going to be coming next, and I'm excited to bring something new to the channel and something you guys can enjoy and build with me as we go along. So I think you're going to like the new car as well. I think it might shock you exactly what it is, but I do love Alfas, and I do love this Giulia in particular, and I'm definitely gonna miss this car. There's no car quite like this Giulia, and it's quite spectacular, and I'm very, very sad to see it have to go, but it just makes sense for me, and I know I just have to move on now before things get too deep. So thank you guys for joining me on the journey with the Alfa, and in the next clip we're going to be saying goodbye to her, so let's roll right to that. Alright guys, so unfortunately I didn't get to record or say goodbye to the Giulia properly on camera, as when I got there it just didn't feel right. I was in the moment and I was working with the people from the dealership, and it just didn't seem right or feel proper to whip out the camera and start recording. Just know I had a really good drive with this thing before I dropped it off, and I'm truly gonna miss it. And it honestly was a kind of sad moment parting ways with this car that I've called my own for the past 3 years. So I thought, what better way to send off the Giulia properly than with a kind of collage or montage of all of the best pictures and some of my favorite moments that I've spent with this car. If you guys have been around a Giulia or driven one or owned one yourself, then you'll know just how special these cars are. Yes, they come at a premium. Yes, they're a little more expensive, a little more rare, a little harder to maintain and own and deal with, but they bring a sort of passion and a love for automobiles that you just cannot explain. It's a vehicle that puts a smile on your face, either when you're parking and walking away from it or while you're driving it. It's truly one of the best vehicles ever made, and I'm so happy that I got to own it. And with that, I'm going to leave you with this kind of collage, little montage of all of the best things and best moments that I spent with this Giulia. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Today, we're going to be reviewing this beautiful 2017 Alfa Romeo Giulia Q4. my gosh, that's intoxicating. Throw it into dynamic mode here. Alright, so we're now in dynamic mode, and we're gonna start throwing it around some corners and see if we can really feel any difference with the Giulia in terms of handling and front end turning and all that good stuff. Favorite mod that I've ever done with this car is this beautiful carbon fiber trunk lid spoiler.
The Giulia has an 8-speed automatic transmission, but if you put it over from drive to the left, you can shift gears yourself in manual mode. Now, let's say that you're driving in manual and you want to put the car in park, but you forget to put it back in D first. Well, here's what happens. You push the button on top, and it automatically slides back over and puts itself into park. Isn't that one of the coolest things ever?